How could a rising football star with a promising career ahead throw it all away in such a shocking manner? The turn of events will leave you awestruck. He had a wife, and even though he wanted to cheat with anyone, he had so many options that would rush to him. He was a star, a football star, but look what happened. He sought for his underage relative, and now he is forced to dance to the consequence playlist put together by the law. Former Atlanta Falcons player Justin Crawford thought he had gotten away with his dark secret, but his past has finally caught up to him in a shocking turn of events. Once a rising star on the football field, Crawford's fall from grace began when he was arrested on child molestation and sodomy charges. As news of his plea deal broke, the city was left reeling in disbelief. How could someone who seemed to have it all throw it all away in such a heinous manner? The details of the case were even more disturbing, painting a picture of manipulation and depravity that had lurked beneath the surface. As the truth slowly unraveled, it became clear that Crawford's fall from grace was far from accidental. It was a chilling reminder that even in the world of sports, where heroes are made and legends born, there are monsters lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. And in the case of Justin Crawford, justice had finally caught up to him. In the small town of Columbus in Georgia, everyone knew him as the star American football player of the local high school. With his impressive athleticism and charming smile, he had quickly risen to fame and popularity within the community. He was adored by fans and supported by a loyal group of friends and teammates. However, his perfect image was shattered when news broke out about a disturbing incident involving Justin and his relative. Rumors began to circulate about an alleged incestuous relationship between him and his 12-year-old relative. This caused shock and disbelief among the townspeople. It was even more shocking given that the revelation was made by his wife, Kea. She was his first fan and most loyal supporter. How then could she be the bearer of this unscrupulous information about him? At first, many brushed off the accusations as mere gossip, unable to fathom that someone like Justin could commit such a heinous act. They began to wonder what her motive was and why she would want to tarnish his image so badly. Was it a squabble? Then it could be fixed. Why wash your dirty linen in the public? Was this the only way to get back at him? They all thought, some in annoyance and others in real embittered anger. His fans and supporters rallied behind him, defending his innocence and blaming the rumors on jealousy and spite. But as the investigation progressed, evidence began to surface that pointed towards Justin's guilt. Kea corroborated her statement again, which showed Justin's guilt, and the victim came forward to the police with narration about the ugly incident and the trauma she felt afterwards. No one seemed to be aware of any suspicious behavior and unsettling interactions between Justin and the 12-year-old. The police conducted a thorough investigation, piecing together both eyewitness accounts and uncovered a disturbing progression of events that supported the accusations. With each twist and turn in the case, the city was gripped by a sense of unease and foreboding. The once beloved athlete had become a figure of fear and suspicion. As the pressure mounted, Justin's facade began to crumble. He became reclusive and withdrawn, avoiding public appearances and shunning the media. His once bright smile faded into a haunted expression, haunted by the guilt and shame of his actions. Finally, after weeks of speculation and uncertainty, Justin was brought in for questioning by the authorities. Under the weight of the evidence against him, he broke down and confessed to the unspeakable crime. The town of Columbus was left reeling, struggling to come to terms with the unthinkable truth. Welcome to another story in our true crime series. Today, we will be unraveling the events that shattered the life of Justin Crawford, an American football player. Justin Crawford, 29 years old, is married to Chakea Crawford and has 3 children. He was born on February 19, 1995, in Columbus, Georgia. Justin Crawford's football journey began at Hardaway High School in Columbus, Georgia. While at Hardaway, Justin Crawford showcased exceptional versatility at Hardaway High School, playing quarterback, running back, receiver, safety, and punter during his junior and senior years. As a senior, Crawford's outstanding performance garnered Offensive Player of the Year honors, highlighted by rushing 825 yards and scoring 7 touchdowns. He then attended Northwest Mississippi Community College before transferring to West Virginia University. At West Virginia University, Crawford impressed, rushing for 1,184 yards in 2016 and 1,061 yards in 2017. Crawford skipped West Virginia University's bowl game to avoid injury and prepare for the 2018 NFL Draft, but unluckily for him, he wasn't drafted. Professionally, Crawford signed with the Atlanta Falcons as an undrafted free agent on May 1, 2018. His tenure was brief. He was waived September 1, 2018. Justin had always dreamed of playing in the NFL. Growing up, he had dedicated countless hours to perfecting his skills on the football field, hoping that one day he would get the opportunity to play at the professional level. However, when the NFL draft came and went, Justin's name was not called. He was devastated, but he refused to give up on his dream. Instead of wallowing in self-pity, Justin decided to keep working hard and try out for any team that would give him a chance. After several failed attempts, he finally caught the attention of the Atlanta Falcons, who decided to take a chance on the undrafted player. Justin was ecstatic. He had finally made it to the NFL. But just when things were looking up for Justin, tragedy struck. In a routine practice, Justin suffered a career-threatening injury that left him sidelined for the rest of the season. He underwent surgery and months of grueling rehabilitation, but he was never able to fully recover. The injury took a toll on Justin, both physically and mentally, and he struggled to find joy in the game he loved so much. As Justin's performance on the field declined, he started to feel anxious and emotionally disturbed. He would spend hours watching his teammates play from the sidelines, wishing he could be out there with them. The uncertainty of his future in the NFL weighed heavily on his mind, and he fell into a deep depression. Justin's wife, Kaya, tried her best to support and comfort him during this difficult time, but it wasn't enough. Justin continued to spiral downwards, his mental health deteriorating with each passing day. One fateful night in the spring of 2018, Kaya woke up to find Justin missing from their bed. She got up and walked out into the living room, only to meet with a sight that sent shivers down her spine. Justin was standing in the living room, indecently dressed, and his 12-year-old relative was in front of him. Kaya's heart raced as she processed the scene before her. Kaya was in shock. She couldn't believe what she had just witnessed. What would you do in this position if you're in Kaya's shoes? As a woman who knows what it means to be in the awkward position that the 12-year-old found herself, what would you do? The right thing to do is only a call away, but what does Kaya do? She does nothing that night. What possible justifiable explanations are there for Justin's actions? Well, she knew she had to address the issue with Justin, but she was afraid of what she might uncover. So, in essence, she wanted to sleep over it. The next morning, she confronted him about the incident, but Justin denied any wrongdoing. He claimed that he was scared and had panicked, which was why he ran off to the kitchen. He denied having contact with her. Whether she believed him or not, we're about to find out. The 12-year-old was taken home to her mother by Chakaya. This was when the consequences of Justin's actions were going to haunt him forever. He wasn't getting away with it. The preteen reported to her mom that she was sleeping in the living room when she woke up to Crawford's advances. He coerced her into a lot, including oral sex and intercourse. The young girl's mother was horrified by the news and devastated for her daughter. She reported the case immediately. Kia felt like her whole world had been turned upside down. She couldn't believe that the man she had been married to for years could be capable of such despicable acts. Because the obvious was glaring, no one will pull out his private part in front of a preteen without ulterior motives. She was filled with a mix of emotions: anger, betrayal, and guilt. How could she not have seen the signs? How could she have been so blind to the fact that she was living under the same roof with a man who would do that to a child? As the investigation into Justin's actions continued, Kaya found herself being questioned by the police more and more frequently. She felt like she was being torn apart, torn between loyalty to her husband and the need to do what was right. She couldn't bear to see her children suffer the consequences of their father's actions, but she also couldn't stand watching him get away with it. One night, as Kaya lay awake in bed, her mind raced with thoughts and emotions. There and then she made a decision. She couldn't continue to live in denial. She couldn't continue to protect someone who had caused so much pain and suffering. She had to do what was right, no matter how difficult it may be. The next morning, Kaya made her way to the police station. She sat down with the investigators and told them everything. Every detail, every memory, every suspicion. She knew that by doing so, she was destroying her marriage, but she also knew that she couldn't live with the guilt of knowing what Justin had done and doing nothing about it. On October 13th, 2018, Justin was arrested and a full investigation was launched. Justin Crawford faced allegations of sexual assault involving a minor. Following his arrest in October 2018, he was released from the Atlanta Falcons squad. Sources say he was on the roster for the new Atlanta Legends in the Alliance of American Football League, but has been suspended after being arrested. As days went by, Kaya found herself faced with even more difficult decisions. She had to fabricate stories to her children about what had happened to their dad. They were too young to know the truth, and this would break them so badly. But how long would she hide the news? It was a crime, a felony, and soon it would be all over the news. She had to narrate the story over and over again to her loved ones who came around and even other members of their extended family. Nobody saw this coming, so the news met them with surprising faces and awful remarks about the incident. It was like reliving every painful moment in front of the people that had complete faith in Justin. She had to face the judgment of the public, knowing that she would be seen as a traitor to her family. But through it all, Kaya knew that she was doing the right thing. She couldn't bring herself to regret her decision, even as her world crumbled around her. She knew that she had to stand up for what was right, no matter the cost. Detective Mark Scruggs testified that the alleged victim underwent a medical examination, including a sex assault kit, to collect DNA evidence. Remember, initially, Justin Crawford denied sexual contact. So, what did they discover? Let's find out. As the truth slowly unraveled, it became clear that Justin had been struggling with his mental health for quite some time. The pressure to perform in the NFL, coupled with his injury and subsequent depression, had pushed him to a breaking point. Chakea Crawford sat nervously in the courtroom for his preliminary hearing, watching as her husband, Justin Crawford, was led in wearing handcuffs and an orange jumpsuit. Many had criticized her actions, but she felt uneasy about the whole situation. She believed she made the right choice. The detective, Mark Scruggs, recounted the events of that early morning, and Chakea felt a surge of anger at the betrayal. Crawford's wife witnessed disturbing behavior Saturday at 5 a.m. Crawford, erect, standing over a sleeping 12-year-old girl. This sent a chill down her spine. She knew she had to speak up to defend the man she had loved for so many years. As the detective finished his testimony, Chakea disputed the detective's account. Chakea stated she saw Crawford standing exposed, but no erection. She claimed Crawford fled to the kitchen. She told the media that she had not seen any sexual activity between her husband and the young girl. Chakea emphasized she'd have called police had she witnessed sexual activity. Seeing the evidence against him, he finally gave in. The lengthy sentences which would have been given due to his actions, he decided to avert by confessing. Crawford later confessed to oral sex and intercourse, alleging the minor initiated the encounter, Scruggs stated. Prosecutor Matthew Brown then confirmed that Justin Crawford admitted to sexual acts with a minor, claiming the victim initiated them. Crawford's admission followed police questioning. The judge deemed evidence sufficient for arrest, transferring the case to the district attorney's office. The district attorney was to determine charges for grand jury consideration. Justin's confession sent shockwaves through the community, shattering the illusion of his innocence and tarnishing his once pristine reputation. His fans and supporters were left devastated, grappling with the realization that their beloved idol was capable of such despicable acts. As the news spread like wildfire, the town of Columbus was consumed by a mixture of outrage, disgust, and disbelief. People struggled to reconcile the image of the charismatic and talented athlete they had admired with the monstrous reality of his actions. The once bustling streets fell silent, shrouded in a heavy cloud of betrayal and sorrow. Justin Crawford, 23, a father of three and former football player, accepted a plea deal in Muskogee Superior Court. He was charged with aggravated child molestation, sodomy, and enticing a child for indecent purposes. Prosecutors dropped 3 felony charges, including aggravated child molestation, potentially carrying 25 years to life imprisonment. Judge Gil McBride sentenced Crawford to 20 years, comprising 12 in prison and the remainder on probation. Crawford must register as a sex offender, refrain from contacting the victim and her family, and avoid minors, including his own children. Defense attorney Michael Eddings attributed Justin Crawford's actions to a gross moral departure triggered by depression following his brief Atlanta Falcons stint, cut short due to injury. Eddings emphasized Crawford's lifelong remorse. In the aftermath of Justin's confession, and as the days turned into weeks, Justin's once celebrated name transformed into a symbol of infamy. His rise from a promising football star to a symbol of betrayed trust marked a heartbreaking fall from grace. His loyal fans, the people who had cheered him on and believed in his potential, turned their backs on him. They couldn't forgive what he had done, nor could they forget the betrayal. The community that once stood behind him now stood apart, unable to reconcile the person they once admired with the monster he had become. Though time would pass and wounds would heal, the scars of Justin Crawford's betrayal would forever linger, a harsh reminder of the darkness that can reside in even the most seemingly perfect of individuals. This tragic story leaves us questioning the truth of the people we look up to, and the consequences that follow when that truth is revealed. If this chilling story sent shivers down your spine, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more true crime stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an unsettling truth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.